anyway. Let me see, where are we at here? Yep, we are live.
Who's watching?
And this puts all put your chat over here and everything. I don't know who's watching. Let me look.
I would need step-by-step directions.
You just click the tab. Click the tab, hit OBS, and log in. That's it.
Can you make that face again?
What
It's
face?
like, click the tab, log in, dumbass.
All right. Hi, Ron. How are you? So Ron's a 6 now?
Yeah.
Congratulations on becoming a 6, Ron.
I know, but now I can't go to the Mid-Atlantic Challenge.
I'm sorry. I know, Mike, that chat went real well. Well, it got everything out in the open, didn't it? Because we only had half the facts.
I kind of feel like more people should have weighed in on that.
I wish more people would have waited.
You know, by not weighing in, it makes me wonder, well, you can't weigh in unless you're going to lie. Maybe you're, you know what I mean? It's, I don't know. I don't know.
Hi, Tony, Barb. Okay, so our shout out this week was for Chris Hinkle, who helped referee this weekend.
All weekend long, the entire time, just about.
And nobody really used him yesterday. Ron, no one complained. You earned it. The system was slow in this case, wasn't it, Alex? When you play pool like 3 days a week, like Ron does, you're probably going to go up.
Well, you wouldn't have gone up unless you were that close. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it certainly doesn't benefit us to have everybody moving up. Contrary to what everyone says.
I know. So the teams split and make baby teams. Actually, they don't. Everyone quits. I don't hate hearing that. It's just like, oh, you raise the skill level, so the team split, so you make more money. No, we lose a team. Because people get pissed off because they can't play with their friends.
Yeah.
Ron Beckwith expected Ron Walker to go up. That's funny. He could go to the Mid-Atlantic Challenge and play doubles. That is correct.
That's correct. You're going to be down there anyway.
Why can't he play? They just need to.
They have 2 6s.
Who's the other 6?
Jace.
So now the whole team's not going? Why don't they just get a 4 or something?
Well, I have a 4 for them. That Ray Siders.
Ray Siders looking to play.
I sent Ron that information that I had a 4. He just has to probably talk to the guys on his team and see what they want to do.
Hi, Chrissy. So, the upcoming events is the last Tri Cup for the summer session.
Hooray.
It's like our 40th session. No. 36th session.
Only 40 more to go.
So the dumb joke of the week is when life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic.
I didn't get it either.
Well, how do you know they didn't get it?
Did anybody get that? Or am I just the dumbass? God, tired I look. Jesus.
Ron, we have 2 6s with a 4 that will be at 16. Issues of 2 6s and 1 senior skip. Well, yeah, that's what we know that, but they have to. Mike
You need a 5 or a 4.
I think Mike Hicks is agreeing that you look tired.
Thank you. I'm going to be in bed by 11 tonight.
So, speaking of Tri Cup, I just did a little write up in our general news, and so what
Just
happened?
a little write up.
Really not that long, is it?
That's why I don't do the newsletter. It'd be like 2 seconds, 2 sentences.
Well, you want to keep it short. This one is a little bit long. But we have one player. The player went to, I guess, what happened? The opponent thought that the player fouled, and
So it was the 6 ball, and the 6 ball rolled to the side of the table where the player's team was. And of course, the people on this side thought that he fouled, and he said, I absolutely did not foul. And honestly, like, it's hard to tell from either end where you're sitting when you're talking about a 6 ball and green cloth. But I did talk to the captain afterwards, who told me that he didn't see the shot. So I don't know.
and the player was sitting at the side. So that's one thing that people forget is like when you're not. It depends on your perspective. Things look different.
Yeah, because if you're sitting over here and that you have that green ball rolling toward the green rail, you really can't tell if it hit it or not.
And then the player got all angry.
Well, I mean, they basically insinuated he was a cheater.
Hi, David. So speaking of the team, so like I saw a player this week. They're shooting a ball. Their balls are at the bottom of the table, and they kicked off the top rail, and then on their way down to the bottom of the rail, it just gently nipped the opponent's ball on the way down, but it was a good hit on the other end of the rail table. So the player was not looking at the middle of the table when they made the shot. They were looking at their object ball. So to them, the ball, that was a good hit. Well, I myself and everybody else saw the other ball move, and the player was like, oh, I didn't see that move. Okay. And then they went on.
That's what I mean. For me, I'm never looking in the right place. So if somebody says I fouled, I'm pretty sure I did. But at the same time, I mean, you could.
If you get all bent out of shape because somebody, I mean, we have a couple peckerheads out there. You are totally out of the picture the way you're leaning. We have a couple people out there that really think that it's if the opponent is not paying attention and they foul, it's not a foul, or other things like that. And they're very unethical players, and they won't admit when they foul. You got to practically call them out, and then you got to put on an instant replay on the jumbotron, and then they might believe you. But those players are very rare. Most players are very ethical, and if the player takes a shot and they literally foul, they don't see the foul, they call it a good hit. Getting pissed off is not going to improve the situation. All you can do in that situation is go on to the next shot. So my write-up was about the only thing you can control in a game is what you do. So you can't control if your opponent is blind as a bat or even a cheater. All you can do is control what you can do. Just keep a cool head and make the best shots that you can make. And if you win, you win.
That pretty much sums it up.
I mean, for me, like it was like an epiphany when I'm like if you're playing a player and they like safe you, like all you can do is try to shoot out of the safe. That's part of the game. Or if no matter what like I saw a match yesterday, the guy shit in like 3 balls. Like even his own team was starting to get into exposure. But there was nothing that you could do about it, and I think eventually that team actually won. They won the war. But if you get mad, like imagine if the whole team got angry, their chances of winning that match probably would have went down a lot. Are we still on? Nobody is weighing in. Let me check. Says we are. So that happened yesterday. Oh, and the other thing, occasionally you'll have somebody shoot like way over their skill level too. There's no point in getting mad at that person either.
Did you see a lot of people shoot over their skill level?
No, well, there was one guy, he's a 6 and he shot like an 8. He really legitimately shot like an 8. The bigger problem there is the player wouldn't admit it. The player was like, oh, well, I do this, I do that. It's like, no, man, you shot fantastic. don't rub it in a person's face and go, well, I got lucky. I do this once in a while. I do this all the time. Just be like, hey, I'm having a good match. I used to play a guy in the golf league, Harold Clay. That was his name. We're going back 15 years, and I could still remember this guy's name. That's how much he pissed me off. Because every time he played me, we played 9 holes, and he was in the same flight as me and had the same handicap as me. And I'd shoot like a 40 or something like that, and the bastard would shoot like a 36 or a 37. It just worked out that he had his good round against me, and he's like, oh, I don't always shoot like that. Like, well, you do every time you play me.
You're such a sore loser, too.
Just keep your mouth shut and just play your game. If you're having a good game, say, okay, thank you.
I've seen you throw a club or two on the golf course.
You know what the problem is that I have with golf clubs is they don't float.
What do you mean?
You throw them in the water, they don't float.
Oh, yeah.
Golf's a whole other story. Sometimes I would get mad at bowling too.
You're the biggest sandbagger I know in bowling.
You've seen it.
I've seen it. And I've gotten upset about it.
If the window is there, and that's a whole other story. But like the system was completely set up to be sandbagged, and I did not
that's
fail.
why you can recognize sandbagging so well because you're so good at it.
I did
yourself.
not fail to take advantage of it. I wasn't really a sandbagger when I played pool. But that's a whole other story. I shot way over my head an 8-ball match at Tri-Cups. I gave props to the guy I shot. He came up to me and congratulated me. He never got upset about it. I know when we shot regionals, when I shot my regional match, I beat my guy 18-2. Like, I was so in the zone, and this was when I was a shooter, of course. I literally went over to the guy and said, I'm really sorry. Like, never shoot like this, which is what Harold Clay did to me. But, like, I, literally apologized for it. And the guy was like, you know what? It happens.
Ron, that wasn't the match that put you close to moving. So, when you filled out your registration form, I'm sure you had to qualify as a 4. What bracket did it have you in? It should have told you there. You'll probably be in the 4s, right?
So Kim's question, let's reiterate the question.
Right.
Hello, I have a question. If I qualified as a 2 for a splash board and now I'm a 4, I was told I still play against the 1 to 3s, but need to make the numbers as a 4. My question is, can I try to win another splash board and play with my current skill level?
That would be for the next.
So the way that it would figure out what skill level you are in for regionals, and you're not the only player. In fact, you're not the only player that qualified as a 3 and is now a 4. Is when they
as a 2.
When they make the bracket, which is about 2 to 3 weeks ago. If you were a 4 by that time, then you will play with the 4s. If you were a 3 at that time, then you play with the 3s, but you have to either get the ball count or the appropriate amount of games depending on what your format is.
Let me see something. Just keep talking. I'm gonna look at an email real quick.
From who?
From the lady that put our flyers together.
For what? I've already posted on the Facebook page what time people are playing.
I did too.
Okay. So the other thing, I posted the rule reminder again. Oh, we still have spots for the Mid-Atlantic Challenge. And I'm reminding everybody of the rule. The most confusing rule in the rule book, it seems, is if somebody breaks and
I got this one wrong, I'm gonna admit it.
And the break is not legal and they scratch, what happens? What happens, Alex?
The other player shoots. I thought since it was an illegal break, the same player shot, so I gave the wrong information. Maybe I should read the rule book.
I was a 4-1 qualified as a 5-1 went up a week later, so I have to play in the 5s. Correct. I don't know, John. In your email that you got from the APA, what did it tell you? It should have told you. I didn't get an email that I'm in 9-ball on the 8th. Let me make a note of that, honey. I will look this up afterwards.
I'm looking for something else to see if there's like a roster that says who's playing in what tier.
Tony, I made a note of that. I will look at that after the meeting. So where are we at?
Did you check spam?
The bracket for regionals is a 6 to 9. No. If you are... The bracket for regionals is grays are 6s and 7s and blacks are 8s and 9s. I don't know when you went up, Randy. You are probably... If you're coming to Wilmelsdorf, you're going to be playing with the grays. The blacks are most likely up in Summit Hill, right, Alex?
Yes.
Do you want me to make a note of that so you can do that after the meeting?
No, just talk, Walter. Jesus.
Looking forward to Virginia. Yep, we are too. Kimberly Schultz says, just to state, I am not in this tournament, but in March. Oh, okay. I thought you were referring to this regional. So in the March regional, you'll probably be playing as a 4. You won't have to requalify in another splash board. You will automatically be a 4. I thought you were referring to this event.
Who didn't get an email? Tony?
I had did Ron mean only one senior skill level. We played 6 and 7 our tri-cup match this weekend. Jeff, Ron is talking about the Mid-Atlantic Challenge where you're only allowed one senior skill level.
Because there's only 3 people.
That's a 3-man team. And the open formats, which is 8 and 9 ball, you are allowed 2 senior skill levels. Saturday in 9 ball, there was half team that was underranked. Other than that, the other teams were playing was accurate. Wasn't there Sunday 8 ball, but glad to hear sandbagging wasn't as much an issue as yesterday. Congrats to everyone.
Let me check Tony's email address.
Just waiting.
Just talk. Why do you have to do this? It drives me insane. Like you put some boring show on TV that I have to sit there that I don't want to watch, and God forbid I try to read a book. You pitch a fit.
But this is not a show.
Well, it kind of is. It's kind of a shit show. Just keep it up, Walter.
Alec,
Tony, what's your email address?
That's it for that. What else you got out, Alex?
Nothing.
Does anybody have any questions?
Like the team that was sandbagging on Saturday, was that a team in your division? If not, like, how do you know?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I mean...
Ron, you can pretty much register up to almost the Mid-Atlantic, but I would say by the beginning of November at the latest.
Oh.
Okay, John says he's a 5, and Tony says it's never changed. So it's never changed at yahoo.com. It's never changed at Gmail. That's an interesting email address. It's never changed.
Is that a... I don't even see her winning award. It's a whole other question.
We'll call her when we're done.
Okay.
I'll call her when we're done. What else you got?
I don't have anything.
That is a good point. How do you know if a team is sandbagging if they are not in your division? Can someone answer me that question for me? How do you know they just didn't have a good day? Randy, I qualified as a 7, but I'm an 8. I will play at regionals in the gray or the black tier. What did it say in your email? It should have told you what tier you were playing in your qualification email. Alan Marsh,
No, John, I'm good.
Can you give a definition of sharking?
Sure. Standing in front of the player when they're shooting, disturbing or jumping up and down.
Talking while they're playing?
Talking while they're playing, like talking shit while they're playing.
Taking your glove off? Taking your stick apart when they're on the last ball? Reminding them how well they're shooting? That's a good form of sharking.
What rule might be good? We can't change the team manual, Jeff. The team manual says we can have 2 senior skill levels.
They were in our division previously. Yes, same issue previously. Same thing. Some things haven't changed, but glad we're not in that division. Well, I don't know. Banging a chair on the floor. LOL. That refers to when I went in Thursday night, and I was slamming the shit around because I was in a pissed off mood.
And the players got mad at you.
Barry yelled at me for that. And I didn't blame him. I apologized.
Carl Core, is it true that your Thursday team is quitting? We might lose the division if it quits. If you quit,
We'll have to figure it out.
we have to figure it out.
What else you got? Anybody else got anything before we go?
I mean, there's lots of things. I mean, some people are like the last guy that shot last night on Bircher's team. Like, I was walking across the floor, and
You were like 3 tables away, and the guy yelled at you.
that's okay. He said I get easily distracted. You know. Luckily, he stood up because he was on the 8 ball. I was kind of in his field of vision, I think, walking past, but
That one, just my personal opinion, that was a little.
well, they were playing for, that was the big game.
I'm okay. I understand all that, but like you literally were like 3 tables away.
But I saw him, he was down in his shot, and I just should have stopped, and I stopped a little too late.
I think when you stop, it's worse. Oh, did you stop?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
That's
worst.
probably what
When
did it.
when you get in somebody's line of sight and you walk in front of them, just keep right on going. Because
Yeah.
as soon as you stop, they will spot you. At Emmaus Fire Company, the bathroom used to be like at the end of the pool table, and like every time somebody would come out and stop, you would see them. Like they could walk out and you would never see them, but they would come out and they would stop, and then you'd be like, "Oh, well, thanks a lot." Can you make a rule reminder for the next meeting regarding double hits? I watched so many skill levels shooting a double hit, and when I questioned their shooter, they would either say nothing or deny it was a double hit. You know how many double hits we see? I would say millions.
Well, you can hear it.
I mean, I'll talk about it next time, but
You should make a note of that. You'll forget by then.
all right, I'll make a note. Yeah, but we see that like all the time. I see that at Track Up all the time. And then the players are like, "Well, I don't know what happened," because their captains are not teaching them. And we go over the rule for timeouts and players shooting before their coach walks away. Well, that's kind of the way the rule book reads is the coach is supposed to leave the area before the player shoots. But that's another one. I've seen how many times you see a timeout, Alex, where like the coach gives a timeout and the player shoots before the coach can even get 2 steps.
The one thing that I wish the coaches would do more often is use a piece of chalk to define the point where they want the player to shoot.
So John had an issue where that was his understanding. It's unsportsmanlike. No, there's no foul. All the fouls are listed in the team manual under the one section, and if it's not listed there, it's not a foul. I don't care what it is. If it's not listed there, it's not a foul. You're out of the picture.
Another thing that I saw happen yesterday is a lower skill player was down on the shot, like for, just kind of getting ready to take the shot, like walked around the table, got down, and then the coach jumped in to give a timeout.
Oh, I saw that so many times yesterday.
Come
The
on.
player
now.
stands there for like a minute, and then they go up, and then they address the ball, and then the coach is like, "Okay, timeout."
Yeah, you can't do that.
I wonder if I could drag you.
No, leave me alone.
Am I correct in understanding that if someone from the table says, "Do you want a timeout?" they must take the timeout? Correct. That is not written in the rules, but that is how I stated it in the player meeting.
If the coach wants a timeout, they have to take a timeout. If the
It's-
player wants a timeout, the
Oh,
coach
from the
doesn't
table?
have to give him a timeout.
Do you mean the pool table or the table where the players are sitting at? If the player doesn't, if the player wants a timeout, then they don't have to. Do you want to talk about it? See, that would be from the coach. That's pretty much is a timeout. I'm sorry to hear about Pino. I know that he was your baby. Yes, we miss Pino. He was our best
I don't
handicapper
want
we
to
ever
talk
had.
about it.
All right, Alex, can you please check and make sure Amvet's Commandos got 4 points from Lebanon?
I thought I gave them their 4 points.
Replying to Barb, well, Alex means Chuck. Oh, so that's another one where a lot of people don't realize that during a timeout, when a player is kicking at a ball, which is about 50% of timeouts for ones, twos, and threes, that you can literally put a piece of chalk on the rail for them to aim at. Remember when somebody put a piece of chalk on the rail and then Keith Golden went and picked it up?
Somebody used a piece. I mean, somebody used a piece of chalk. Apparently, like on Saturday, everybody was using chalk to mark the pocket. But somebody put a piece of chalk here, and there was a piece of chalk by this marker, and this one, this hole and that hole.
Like in the flawless mantle batch, you're out of the picture again. We need a wider screen camera. What else we got? Anybody got any other questions? If not, we're gonna go.
Wait, hang on one second. I want to answer. What's this question?
So while Alex is looking up that answer to that question, I don't mind answering
I
questions.
gave them their 4 points already, Mike.
I don't mind answering questions live. It just takes long.
Can you scroll up to mine? I didn't even see you, Adam. Oh, briefly clarify what. We answered.
Right there, Alex. Can you please make sure Amvet's got 4 points?
I did. They did.
Mike just got here. Well, that explains why the questions are so brief.
What's the point of not leaving your finger on the? Because you can't stay at the table, Mike, till the player shoots.
Yeah, if you just jumped on, they talked about when a timeout ends and the coach has to leave the playing area before the player shoots the ball, or they're supposed to. I've got spots open for boards in November and December. So Shallon Cup is running up boards in November and December, and if you would like to go, it's posted in the member community. Feel free to keep posting that. Just asking because it doesn't show up on the app score sheet. Mike says.
The app score sheet. 17, 24, 34, 44, 53, 59.
Well,
They had 59 points, and now they have 63. Maybe I have to release the score sheet.
you are out of the picture.
You are out of your mind.
Yes, I am. Any other questions? All right, we're going to go. We've been on long enough.
Just wait 1 second.
Adam's question was if the coach can go back after walking away. Well, there's nowhere in the team manual that says that. That's a dicey one, Barb, because it says the timeout is over. That I would not recommend that. It's not very clearly written in the rule book that the coach cannot go back after they leave the playing area. So that one is, I don't know. That's a gray area and hard to answer.
Can anybody?
Hi, Bill.
Can anybody tell me what week we're in?
If you go to the app, you can tell. What are you doing? We're releasing a score sheet now?
Yeah.
Ron Walker says 8. Mike Knudsen says it. Mike says 8. Ron says 7.
I think it's 8.
Which is it?
I go to app. Where does it say?
You talk now while I go on the phone for a few minutes.
I thought it was 8.
You gotta keep talking. That's what you tell me.
I don't know what to say.
I don't know, but that's what you tell me.
Did anybody get Walter's joke?
We are week 8. I think we just played week 8 on Sunday. That would be.
That's correct.
Not only did they play week 8 on Sunday, they also played it yesterday. Yes, melons is. All right, well, we've been on long enough. We appreciate your time. If you guys think of any questions or anything else you want to ask us, please let us know. And no, Bar, it is not considered anywhere that is to be. That's what I mean. It's one of the poorly written rules of the team manual. Mike went ahead and explained the rule, the joke.
I never get any jokes. I fixed it, Mike. I re-released the score sheet and it's showing 63.
Alex, what do you get when you mix a dyslexic, an agnostic, and an insomniac?
What?
Someone who lays awake the entire night wondering if there is a dog.
Oh.
And on that note, we shall go. All right, everyone, have a great
See some of
day.
you guys next weekend. Walter will on Stackhouse's tournament.
Oh, yeah, Sunday I will be.
And I think there's a tournament for Ricky Kunkel too that weekend.
Is there? All right, bye, everyone. Say it, Alex.